Have you ever followed a wildfire on the news? The fire starts really small, like someone flicking a cigarette out of the window. It hits a pile of dry grass or something on the edge of a dry forest. The winds fan the tiny ember, which suddenly turns into a roaring fire that's a mile long and 3 stories high. It's scary how fast it can happen. In just hours, a fire can engulf tens of thousands of trees. Now, I know you wouldn't ever want to find yourself in the path of a forest fire, but as a marketer, I know you've thought about what it would be like to kickstart a viral fire. Seriously, viral marketing can get your marketing message in front of tens of thousands or even millions of people extremely fast. But that's only if you do it the right way. In fact, if you do it wrong, the whole thing can backfire on you and give you bad publicity. Whether you're launching a viral contest or trying to get traction on a video, infographic, meme, or other viral content, there are certain do's and don'ts you need to follow which will increase your chances of success. So let's take a look at how to start maximizing your viral campaigns and turn them into raging fires. The first thing you need to do is make sure your content is worth sharing. In order for your campaign to catch fire, your content needs to evoke some sort of emotion in people. When in doubt, try to evoke primal emotions like anger, surprise, fear, disgust, and happiness. This is all about throwing some fuel on the fire, so to speak. Think about some of the viral content you've shared, and there's a good chance all of it has evoked one of the emotions I just mentioned. For example, those funny cat pictures and videos evoke laughter, which is tied to happiness. Another example, the shocking thing some politician said evokes surprise, or maybe anger or disgust. People like to share something that evoked an emotion in them, because they want to share not just the content, but they want to share that feeling with their friends. Now, here's the thing. When you post something like a meme on a Facebook page, you don't need to convince anyone to look at it. And that's because it only takes a split second for someone to see it and absorb the message. However, if your content requires your video to invest a little bit of time in order to get the message, such as a video, then you're going to need to convince them it's worth their time to click it and view it, which brings us to the next point. The next tip is to craft a good headline and a good call to action. You really could have the most amazing video, report, or other content on the planet, but it's not going to catch fire if you can't get the first wave of visitors interested enough to actually click on it and open your content. So that's why you need to craft a good headline and call to action which persuades people to click. Yes, this is sales copy, and yes, it should evoke an emotion or arouse curiosity. If you want good examples of how to do this, go to Upworthy.com. This site mainly curates videos from other sources, but the key to their success are the headlines they attach to the video. Let me give you just a few examples that are taken directly from the Upworthy site. The jaw-dropping prison pipeline no one talks about. There's a conversation some parents are having with their children. Are you? There wasn't a dry eye, on court or off. Even the refs were crying. Boy, that one kind of gets me just saying it. Okay, here's a couple more. If you were born between 1982 and 2002, there's stuff you should know about you and your awesomeness. And then finally, the biggest problems of our times all come down to this word that starts with E. This is good stuff. You can see why headlines like these work well to get people to watch the videos. They arouse curiosity. And like that one with the crying refs, even just reading it kind of tugs on my emotions a little bit. Now, while strong headlines like these help get the click, adding a call to action is going to increase your open rate even more. All you have to do is specifically tell people to watch the video. It's easy. Let me show you what I mean by taking one of the headlines I mentioned previously and combining it with a call to action. There is a conversation some parents are having with their children. Are you? Watch this video to find out. Okay, it's that simple. Just arouse curiosity and then let visitors know that they can satisfy their curiosity by watching the video. That last part is the call to action. Okay, moving on here. Another thing to do to improve your chances of a successful viral campaign is to run your campaign ideas past a few people. You'll see in a second why this is so important. Your viral content may seem like a good idea to you, but sometimes we're a little too close to our own project, so we don't see all the potential minefields. Just consider what the Kellogg's company did in the fall of 2013 in their attempt to kickstart a viral campaign. They sent out a tweet that said, "One retweet, one breakfast for a vulnerable child." Now, I'm guessing they expected to get a lot of retweets and a lot of goodwill for donating meals to hungry children. Instead, quite the opposite happened. They got a lot of backlash from angry people. One person on Twitter responded by saying, "Help us advertise or kids go hungry." Another person called the stunt sickening and said, if you have the capability to feed hungry children, then you should do so. I kind of understand where they're coming from. As the backlash intensified, Kellogg's swiftly deleted the post and then sent out an apology which said, "We want to apologize for the recent tweet. Wrong use of words. It's deleted. We give funding to school breakfast clubs in vulnerable areas." Well, this apology didn't sit well either, as people responded that they shouldn't blame poor word choice for what was actually a shoddy attempt to market their business. In other words, the whole campaign totally backfired on Kellogg's. They certainly got a viral effect going, but it wasn't the kind that they intended. That's why you'll want to run your campaign ideas past a few trusted friends and colleagues to see if they can spot any potential pitfalls or other problems with it, okay? So the next tip I want to share with you is to create contests with niche relevant prizes. Contests have a tendency to naturally go viral since people usually tell their friends and post about contests on contest-related forums and social media groups. Of course, you can also kickstart the viral effect by using a contest management tool like Rafflecopter, which awards extra entries for social media shares. Another tool you can use is Social Share Monkey, which allows you to give a gift to anyone who shares your contest on Twitter, Facebook, or Google+. However, one of the keys to driving targeted traffic is to make sure your prizes are related to the niche. You see, if you just offer cash prizes, then you may get a whole lot of traffic flowing into your site. But these visitors are untargeted. They don't care about what you're selling, and after you announce the contest winners, you're never going to see them again. So to be sure you have targeted traffic, just offer prizes that are only of interest to people in your niche. Here's another tip. When you're announcing contest winners, give all the contest entrants a special discount for a short period of time, such as maybe 48 hours or so. You may even want to offer this discount on the grand prize. This is the secret to generating a lot of sales after your contest is over. So, for example, if your grand prize is a $500 piece of software, then offer everyone a runners-up prize of a 50% discount on that software. You want to be sure to impose a tight deadline to help get buyers off the fence. You should have a good sales spike from this, as most of your entrants obviously want the product, otherwise they wouldn't have tried to win it, right? Let's go ahead and move on here. The next tip is to study the popular viral content in your niche. In other words, you want to reverse engineer to see what works for your audience. Ask yourself what emotions this content appeals to. Take note of what format the content is in. See if you can identify a pattern among the top 10 viral pieces of content in your niche. Once you do identify what your audience likes, then you can easily create something that's similar. Of course, keep in mind that even a viral campaign that looks like a great idea and you think has a lot of potential to take off, it might not. It might just fizzle out. But that's okay. You can play the percentages, you can keep putting more content out. Remember, the more content you shove out there, the more likely it is that you'll hit that home run that every marketer dreams about. The one that creates millions of views and a stampede of traffic to your site. The kind that other people will be using as examples on their products for years to come. Okay? One final tip. You want to launch your content at the right time. You need to promote your viral content to get it in front of as many people as possible. And that's why you'll want to pay attention to the details, such as when you actually launch it. Good times to launch your content are at 9 a.m. Eastern and noon Eastern if your primary audience is in the United States. That's because people are just getting to work at 9 o'clock and they're just checking their Facebook accounts and emails before they settle in. At noon Eastern, the West Coast population is just getting to work, while the East Coast population is going to lunch. Again, these times work great if you have a US audience. If you don't, then just figure out when your market is most likely to be online. That's when you'll want to drop your viral content on social media, your blog, and to your newsletter. So there you have it. 6 solid tips for maximizing your viral campaigns. Check out the resource section on this page for more information about tools you can use to launch your viral campaign, like Social Share Monkey. And then start brainstorming about how to start your own viral wildfire that sweeps across your niche. Next up, did you know that you can get people to pay you at the same time they send you traffic? And the best thing is they do it willingly. You'll find out how to do that in the next video.